For this week's Movement Monday, I wanted to give you a little something different. It's a tool that's going to potentially improve the tension control in any basic calisthenics exercise, especially the ones that you're using for building muscle. Now, as I talk about my new book, Smart Bodyweight Training, the ability to manipulate and control tension throughout your body is essentially the foundation upon which all your success is based on, whether you want to burn fat, build muscle, or improve performance. The question though is, how exactly can you go about improving your tension control? Well, today we're going to explore how to use the speed element out of my table of progressive elements as a tool to improve tension control, and we'll use push-ups for an example today. So tension control is a neurological phenomenon. If you want to build muscle or do anything to make a muscle change, the thing that makes it manipulate its function, its ability, its size, is the tension that gets put into it. And while it's easy to think that tension gets put there by weights or exercise or routine, ultimately it's your brain that makes tension go into the muscle. So being able to manipulate that mind-muscle connection is super important. The problem is that muscle connection and neurological control, it's so below our radar half the time that we're not even aware that it's something we can consciously control, much less something that we should proactively be improving and working on. It's kind of like how we talk in our speech. Growing up in Vermont, I had a Vermont accent, which I didn't pronounce my T's. So people were like, "Where are you from?" I'm like, "I'm a Vermonter." That's how I always spoke. And now I come out here to Colorado and they're like, "What the hell's a Vermonter?" It's like my cousin Vinny, what the hell is two Utes kind of thing. Well, muscle tension's exactly the same thing. We use our body and we sit and we stand and we walk and we do everything so much all day long that it's very difficult for us to consciously wrangle and control, much less improve, this thing that's below our awareness radar. But using the speed element allows you to do exactly that with any exercise. So there's 4 different levels that we're going to use the speed element for. Level number 1 is the easiest level to manipulate tension control. And this is using the speed element to essentially eliminate the speed of your exercise. So in the case of push-ups, you're going to hold the top of the push-up, aka a plank, and just focusing on making the muscles tense up, your triceps, your chest, your shoulders, your abs, keeping stability of your back, holding right there. Then what you can do is bring yourself back down to about an inch off the floor and do the same thing at the bottom position, still keeping tension in those primary push chain muscles and being aware of where is it different. Is it different in your chest, your triceps, your shoulders? Is it different between your left side, your right side? How's your breathing? And so on. So we're practicing tension at both ends of our range of motion when we're doing a push-up. The second step is to induce some movement into the activity. Now, tension control with movement is a little bit more tricky, and this is how we're going to do it. You hold the top position for about 2 seconds, then you bring yourself back down into the bottom position in a smooth, controlled fashion, and you hold that position for about 2 seconds. Then you bring yourself back up, paying attention to where the tension control within your push chain or whatever chain you're working is changing throughout the movement and from one position to the next. From there, the third step is to eliminate the isometrics at the top and bottom and to try and control your tension as well as possible while moving up and down in a smooth, controlled motion. I often think of like waves washing up on the shore if I'm practicing this. There's no point where you can see the wave actually stop, but it's a very smooth transition. If you want to be slow, but not necessarily super slow with this, just keeping things smooth. And then the final step in using speed to improve your tension control is to move faster. And in this one, you're speeding yourself up. This is a technique we used to use all the time in Taekwondo. My instructor would always say, well, if you think you're really good at something, try doing it as fast as you can. And wherever you've got your weaknesses and your hangups are going to become very apparent very quickly. So even though you're moving fairly fast, you're trying to keep the quality of the tension in your muscles, the quality of your technique rock solid, even though you're pushing the boundaries of how quickly you can move. You can use these techniques any way that you can. You can use them as your main workout. You can use it as a bit of a warm-up, just a couple of sets, holding for 5 or 6 seconds before you do it, because especially if it's early in the morning, you're like, all right, time to do my exercise. Your brain is like, all right, what are we doing here? What muscles are we working? What's going on? So it just gives you a moment to get neurologically set and ready for the exercise to do. And you can do it also in your light days too. If you are doing something like CC+, the ebook that I have that's a supplement to convict conditioning, link is down below if you want to download it. We do every day we have skill sets where we basically lightly practice our exercises just to keep it fresh in the mind. And you can do just a couple of light repetitions of push-ups just to keep the neurological stimulation fresh from one day to the next in between your major workouts. But play with it, experiment with it, have fun with it, and above all, leave me questions down below, be fit and live free.